Adjacent. Situated next to or near something. Adjoining. Neighboring. Nearby. Contiguous. Describe a place you visited that was adjacent to something interesting. I once stayed in a hotel that was adjacent to a historical monument. Its adjoining courtyard was beautifully landscaped, and the neighboring museum offered great insights into local culture. Having attractions nearby made the experience richer. The convenience of being in a contiguous district kept everything within walking distance. Adolescent. A young person developing into an adult. Teenager. Youth. Juvenile. Minor. How do you think society treats adolescents today? Society often underestimates adolescents. As teenagers, they're navigating complex emotions and decisions. Many youth feel pressured by expectations, while some juveniles struggle to find identity. I think support systems should be in place for every minor, especially in education and emotional well-being. Adverse. Harmful, unfavorable, or negative. Detrimental. Unfavorable. Hostile. Injurious. Can you describe a time when you faced adverse conditions? During college exams, I faced adverse conditions including illness and power outages. The detrimental effect on my focus was significant. That week felt unfavorable, yet I tried to stay strong. Some circumstances felt downright hostile, and my health suffered an injurious blow. Overcoming it made me more resilient. Allowance. A regular or specific amount of money given. Stipend. Grant. Allocation. Provision. How did you manage your first allowance? I received my first allowance at 14. It was a modest stipend, but it taught me budgeting. I divided the grant wisely between savings and spending. That allocation allowed me to buy books and games. Even a small provision can shape financial habits early in life. Ambiguity. Uncertainty or inexactness in meaning. Vagueness. Obscurity. Uncertainty. Equivocation. Can ambiguity be helpful in communication? In some cases, ambiguity allows room for interpretation. For poets, vagueness opens creative pathways. Yet in contracts, obscurity causes confusion. In relationships, uncertainty may foster anxiety. Still, equivocation can be tactful when discussing sensitive topics. It depends on context and intent. Analogy. A comparison between two similar things. Comparison. Metaphor. Parallel. Correlation. Can you give an example of a useful analogy you've heard? I once heard a powerful analogy: life is like a camera, focus on what's important. That comparison stuck with me. It felt like a poetic metaphor, capturing clarity and intention. The idea drew a strong parallel to how we react to challenges. This mental correlation helps me stay positive. Anchor. Something that provides support or stability. Foundation. Support. Stabilizer. Mainstay. Who or what has been an anchor in your life? My grandmother has always been my anchor. Her wisdom serves as my emotional foundation. Her presence provides support during tough times, like a steady stabilizer. She's the mainstay of our family, always offering guidance and love even from afar. Anonymous. Not identified by name, unknown. Unnamed. Unidentified. Incognito. Faceless. Do you think people prefer to stay anonymous online? Many enjoy being anonymous online to express freely. They remain unnamed, protecting their identity. While this unidentified state can offer safety, it also encourages misuse. Some choose to stay incognito for privacy, and others hide behind a faceless digital mask. It's a mixed reality. Applause. Public expression of approval. Ovation. Clapping. Acclaim. Cheer. Describe a time you received or witnessed great applause. I gave a speech at my university's farewell event. The applause afterward was heartwarming. The loud ovation made me feel heard. Friends clapping and professors' acclaim showed appreciation. Even the spontaneous cheer from strangers reminded me that effort truly resonates. Arbitrary. Based on random choice, not system. Random. Capricious. Haphazard. Subjective. Have you ever felt something was judged arbitrarily? Absolutely. Once during a group project, grades felt arbitrary. Some scoring seemed random, ignoring our extra effort. The teacher's choices appeared capricious, favoring certain students. It was haphazard in feedback, and rather subjective overall. Fair evaluation is crucial to student morale. Arouse. To provoke or awaken emotion. Stimulate. Ignite. Spark. Awaken. Can you describe a time when something aroused your curiosity? During my university years, a lecture on psychology truly aroused my curiosity. It managed to stimulate my interest in human behavior, ignite countless questions in my mind, and spark a desire to learn more. That single session seemed to awaken a passion I never knew I had for cognitive science. Assemble. To gather or bring together. Collect. Gather. Convene. Congregate. Describe a situation where people had to assemble for a purpose. Last year, my neighborhood faced severe flooding, so we had to assemble quickly for a community rescue effort. People collected supplies, gathered in the community hall, and convened with local aid workers. It was inspiring to see everyone congregate with such determination and care. Assurance. Confidence or certainty. Certainty. Guarantee. Confidence. Conviction. Do you think assurance from leaders can affect people's behavior? Absolutely. When leaders speak with assurance, it instills certainty in people's actions. A well-delivered guarantee makes citizens feel secure, and that confidence translates into trust. During crises, even a single voice of conviction can help maintain calm in a nervous population. Attribute. A quality or feature of someone or something. Trait. Characteristic. Quality. Feature. What attributes do you think define a successful person? I believe one key attribute is resilience. This trait allows someone to face setbacks boldly. Another important characteristic is adaptability, which helps people manage change. Kindness is a priceless quality, and leadership is a strong feature among successful individuals. Avenue. A way or method of approaching something. Channel. Route. Pathway. Option. What are some avenues students can take to improve learning? Students today have so many avenues for improvement. One effective channel is online learning platforms. Another route is joining workshops or seminars. Some prefer study groups as a pathway, while others choose mentoring, a powerful option to refine understanding. Backing. Support or endorsement. Support. Endorsement. Sponsorship. Patronage. Have you ever given or received backing for an idea? Yes. When I organized a cleanup drive, I received backing from my school. They offered financial support and public endorsement through social media. A local shop even gave sponsorship, and my teacher's patronage helped recruit more volunteers. That made the project a great success. Bandwagon. A popular activity or trend. Trend. Craze. Movement. Wave. Why do people tend to follow the bandwagon? Following the bandwagon often makes people feel socially accepted. For example, when a new fashion trend emerges, many join the craze to stay current. Others support viral causes to be part of a movement. Social media drives these waves of collective behavior quite powerfully. Breed. To produce or generate. Generate. Spawn. Reproduce. Nurture. Do you think certain environments breed creativity? Without a doubt. A supportive environment can breed fresh ideas. Places that generate open discussions and allow freedom often spawn innovation. Artists tend to reproduce brilliance when surrounded by stimulating people. Educators who nurture curiosity create truly creative thinkers. Casualty. A person harmed or killed in an accident or conflict. Victim. Fatality. Loss. Injured. Have you ever heard of an incident with many casualties? Yes, I read about a factory explosion that left dozens as casualties. Many workers were victims of negligence, and the fatalities shocked the nation. Families suffered emotional loss, and even those injured faced long-term trauma. It reminded me how crucial safety standards are. Catastrophe: a sudden event causing great damage. Disaster. Calamity. Tragedy. Crisis. Describe a time when you heard about a catastrophe. Last year, I read about a catastrophe where floods devastated a village. This disaster wiped out homes and disrupted lives. It was a true calamity. Children lost schools, and families lost livelihoods. The emotional toll was like enduring a tragedy. Local governments responded to the crisis with emergency shelters and aid distribution. Charisma. A compelling charm or attractiveness. Magnetism. Allure. Charm. Appeal. Do you think charisma is important in leadership? Absolutely. Charisma can inspire people to follow. Leaders with magnetism tend to make people feel heard and valued. This emotional allure creates loyalty. For instance, a manager with genuine charm often earns respect. In modern teams, leadership with appeal encourages collaboration and high morale. Chronic. Continuing for a long time or recurring. Persistent. Long-term. Constant. Prolonged. Can you explain the impact of chronic stress on daily life? Chronic stress affects both mind and body. When worry becomes persistent, it leads to health problems. People under long-term pressure often face sleep loss or irritability. Even small tasks feel overwhelming due to constant tension. Without rest, it turns into prolonged anxiety, which harms relationships and productivity. Cliché. An overused phrase or idea. Platitude. Truism. Banality. Stereotype. Do you think using clichés in conversation is effective? Not really. Using a cliché might sound lazy or insincere. While a platitude like, "time heals everything," is comforting, it often lacks depth. A truism may hold truth but feels unoriginal. Banality doesn't move people, and stereotypes can even offend. Expressing personal ideas shows deeper emotional and intellectual engagement. Coherence. Logical and consistent connection. Clarity. Consistency. Cohesion. Organization. Why is coherence important in academic writing? Coherence keeps writing understandable. Readers appreciate clarity when ideas flow logically. Without consistency, thoughts seem scattered. Effective cohesion links sentences and sections well. Good organization builds a framework that guides the reader. All these qualities help convey the message clearly and raise the quality of academic work. Coincide. Occur at the same time. Overlap. Concur. Synchronize. Align. Can you describe a situation where two events coincided? My graduation ceremony happened to coincide with my sister's birthday. The joyful overlap made celebration special. Both occasions seemed to concur perfectly. We even managed to synchronize lunch with guests from both events. Our schedules happened to align, allowing a shared moment of laughter and memories. Collapse. To fall or break down suddenly. Crash. Crumble. Cave in. Disintegrate. Describe a situation where something collapsed. During a storm, part of our garage began to collapse. The roof appeared to crash under pressure from falling trees. Walls started to crumble and windows shattered. It felt as if everything would cave in within seconds. Thankfully, no one was hurt, though the structure had fully disintegrated by morning. Comeback. A return to a former position or success. Return. Revival. Recovery. Resurgence. Have you seen someone make a remarkable comeback? Yes, a singer I admire made a powerful comeback after years of absence. Her return to the stage felt emotional, and her voice had matured beautifully. This revival drew massive crowds. Her story was one of personal recovery from hardship. Now, she's enjoying a resurgence of fame through social media engagement. Commemorate. To honor or remember through ceremony. Celebrate. Memorialize. Acknowledge. Pay tribute. How do people commemorate special events in your country? In my country, we commemorate Independence Day with parades and speeches. People celebrate freedom through cultural performances. Parks often host events that memorialize heroes. We also acknowledge their contributions in schools. Moments of silence and flag-raising ceremonies pay tribute to their sacrifices and legacy. Commence. To begin or start something. Initiate. Launch. Start. Embark. Can you tell me about a time when you commenced something new? When I commenced my internship, it felt exciting and intimidating. The manager helped me initiate key responsibilities. I learned how to launch campaigns and start research independently. This experience taught me how to embark on new projects with confidence and curiosity. It truly shaped my career aspirations. Compensate. To make up for loss or damage. Reimburse. Offset. Redress. Repay. Can you describe a time when you had to compensate for something? When I missed my best friend's birthday due to exams, I felt terrible. To compensate, I took her on a weekend trip. That helped reimburse the disappointment she felt. I wanted to offset her sadness and bring joy. It was a way to redress my absence and repay the value of her friendship. Conceal. To hide something so it is not visible or known. Cover. Mask. Disguise. Suppress. Why do people sometimes conceal their emotions? People often conceal emotions to appear strong. Some cover their sadness with smiles, while others mask their anxiety through humor. In stressful jobs, professionals disguise fatigue to maintain composure. At times, individuals even suppress joy, fearing it may seem inappropriate in serious environments. Concession. Something yielded or given up during negotiation. Compromise. Allowance. Adjustment. Trade-off. Do you think making concessions is necessary in relationships? Yes, concession is vital in relationships. Partners must compromise on habits and routines. A small allowance for differences can build harmony. Even making an adjustment in daily habits shows respect. Without these trade-offs, minor disagreements could escalate and damage trust between people. Condemn. To express strong disapproval. Denounce. Criticize. Rebuke. Censure. Can you talk about a time when someone's actions were condemned? There was a scandal in my school where a student cheated during finals. The principal publicly condemned the behavior. Teachers denounced the dishonesty and encouraged fairness. Media outlets criticized the growing academic pressure. Even student leaders rebuked the act, and the administration issued an official censure. Confront. To face or challenge someone or something. Tackle. Face. Challenge. Deal with. Can you describe a situation where you had to confront a fear? I had a fear of public speaking, but I decided to confront it during a debate contest. I practiced every day to tackle my anxiety. On the day, I stood up and faced the audience boldly. Though difficult, the experience helped me challenge my doubts and deal with stage fright effectively. Consensus. General agreement among a group of people. Agreement. Harmony. Unity. Accord. What role does consensus play in decision-making? Reaching consensus ensures fairness in decisions. When teams work with agreement, people feel valued. In schools, harmony among teachers improves learning. Political leaders seek unity on sensitive laws. Without accord, debates linger and no meaningful action occurs. Shared vision leads to solid results. Contradictory. Having conflicting elements or opinions. Opposing. Inconsistent. Conflicting. Incompatible. Have you ever encountered contradictory opinions at work or school? Yes, during a group project, two members had contradictory ideas. One was opposing the use of tech while the other insisted on a digital model. Their methods were inconsistent, causing delays. These conflicting views created tension, and their goals felt incompatible. We had to mediate carefully to reach a solution. Conviction. A strong belief or a legal finding of guilt. Belief. Certainty. Confidence. Verdict. Do you think personal convictions affect one's career choices? Definitely. People with strong conviction often pursue fields aligned with their beliefs. A social worker, for example, may be driven by certainty in helping others. Entrepreneurs begin ventures with confidence in their vision. In legal terms, a criminal verdict can affect future paths as well. Corpse. A dead body, usually of a human. Cadaver. Remains. Body. Carcass. Have you ever read or seen a story involving a corpse? Yes, I recently watched a thriller where a corpse was discovered in a locked room. The detective inspected the cadaver closely, noting unusual marks. The family identified the remains, which led to shocking revelations. The scene of the body lying there was intense, and the condition of the carcass indicated foul play. Corresponding. Similar or related in form or function. Matching. Equivalent. Related. Parallel. Can you explain the importance of using corresponding ideas in writing? Using corresponding ideas makes writing cohesive. When points are matching across paragraphs, readers stay engaged. A thesis should have equivalent supporting arguments. Topics must be related and flow naturally. Without a parallel structure, writing feels fragmented and confusing for the audience. Credibility. The quality of being trusted or believed. Trustworthiness. Reliability. Integrity. Believability. Why is credibility important in journalism? Credibility in journalism ensures people can rely on what they read. Without trustworthiness, the media risks spreading misinformation. Reporters need reliability to uphold truth. Their integrity maintains respect across communities. Once believability is lost, it's hard to restore public faith, which affects freedom of press and democracy. Cynical. Distrustful of others' motives or sincerity. Skeptical. Sarcastic. Mistrustful. Jaded. Do you think people are more cynical today than before? Definitely. Many people have grown cynical due to broken promises by leaders. They feel skeptical about motives behind policies. Social media often fuels sarcastic commentary, deepening mistrust. Some are mistrustful of even kind gestures, and others are simply jaded by constant disappointments. Deception. The act of deceiving or misleading someone. Trickery. Fraud. Dishonesty. Misrepresentation. Have you ever witnessed deception in real life or stories? Yes, in a movie I watched, deception played a major role. The character used trickery to gain wealth illegally. He committed fraud using fake documents. His dishonesty ruined innocent lives, and the plot exposed how misrepresentation can cause chaos even in close relationships. Definitive. Final, decisive, and regarded as best. Conclusive. Authoritative. Absolute. Final. Can you give an example of a definitive decision you made? One definitive decision I made was switching careers. It was a conclusive choice after months of reflection. My mentor gave authoritative advice based on experience. That helped me feel absolute confidence, and the final outcome led to a happier, more fulfilling job. I've never looked back. Descend. To move downward or to come from an ancestor. Fall. Drop. Sink. Originate. Describe an experience when you saw something descend. Once during a hike, I saw fog descend rapidly across the valley. It seemed to fall from the mountains, covering everything. As the visibility began to drop, we slowed our pace. The mist started to sink into the forest, and locals say it may even originate from a nearby river system. Deterrent. Something that discourages someone from doing something. Obstacle. Prevention. Restriction. Hindrance. What do you think acts as a deterrent against crime in cities? I believe strict laws serve as a powerful deterrent against crime. Surveillance cameras act as an obstacle to wrongdoing, while increased police presence ensures prevention. Penalties work as a restriction, discouraging repeated offenses. Even the fear of social shame can become a psychological hindrance. These measures together improve urban safety. Dialect. A regional or social variation of a language. Vernacular. Regional tongue. Local speech. Mother tongue. How does dialect influence communication within communities? Dialect builds strong identity within communities. Speaking in one's vernacular brings cultural richness, and using a regional tongue fosters familiarity. People express emotions more freely with local speech, which reflects nuances better. For many, it's a mother tongue that carries history and connection, making interaction more personal. Diplomacy. Skill in managing international or social relationships. Tact. Negotiation. Discretion. Strategy. Can diplomacy help in solving interpersonal conflicts? Certainly. Diplomacy is often the key to resolving tension. Using tact helps express opinions respectfully, and through open negotiation, misunderstandings are cleared. Practicing discretion avoids unnecessary escalation, while strategy allows one to approach discussions with calm and foresight. These skills reduce conflict and encourage collaboration. Disguise. To hide one's identity or appearance. Concealment. Camouflage. Veil. Cover. Have you ever been in a situation where someone used a disguise? Yes, during a school drama, a student used a clever disguise to play a spy. Her concealment involved glasses and a hat, making her unrecognizable. The makeup added camouflage, and a fabric veil covered part of her face. It was the perfect cover, and she played the role convincingly without being exposed. Disillusioned. Disappointed due to a shattered belief or expectation. Disenchanted. Jaded. Let down. Discouraged. Why do some people become disillusioned with their careers? Many feel disillusioned when reality doesn't match expectations. They become disenchanted with repetitive tasks or lack of purpose. Over time, people grow jaded if recognition isn't given. Feeling let down by management or discouraged by office politics can result in a deep loss of motivation and career satisfaction. Disposable income. Money left after essential expenses. Surplus money. Extra earnings. Spending power. Financial cushion. Why is disposable income important to individuals? Disposable income gives people flexibility in their lifestyle choices. With surplus money, they can travel, shop, or invest. Having extra earnings brings comfort and allows long-term planning. It enhances one's spending power, which boosts local businesses. Even a modest financial cushion helps deal with emergencies smoothly. Distinction. A noticeable difference or honor. Contrast. Uniqueness. Variation. Recognition. What's the distinction between success and true happiness? There's a clear distinction between external success and internal contentment. Contrast lies in achievements versus emotional fulfillment. While wealth may bring status, uniqueness in values and relationships fosters deeper joy. Life's variation teaches perspective, and emotional recognition helps people identify what truly matters in the long run. Eccentric. Unconventional or strange in behavior or style. Quirky. Odd. Unconventional. Peculiar. Can you describe an eccentric person you've met? I had a teacher who was incredibly eccentric. He had a quirky way of teaching, using puppets in chemistry class. His odd jokes often confused us, but they made lessons memorable. Though highly unconventional, his methods actually helped students grasp tough topics. He wore peculiar hats each Friday, turning education into entertainment. Elimination. The process of removing or getting rid of something. Removal. Eradication. Exclusion. Abolition. Why is elimination an important step in competition? In competitive sports, elimination maintains fairness. As rounds progress, removal of weaker teams creates tension and excitement. It adds drama when top performers aim for eradication of errors. The final stage often involves exclusion of those who didn't perform well. Ultimately, abolition of mistakes leads to champions being crowned. Endurance. The ability to withstand hardship over time. Stamina. Perseverance. Resilience. Durability. What role does endurance play in success? Endurance helps people overcome repeated setbacks. Athletes build stamina through intense training to keep going. In life, perseverance pushes us past failures, while resilience helps us bounce back. Even emotional durability matters when dealing with personal challenges. Those who endure often achieve long-term success despite difficulties. Entity. A thing with distinct and independent existence. Organization. Body. Institution. Structure. Can you describe a successful business entity you admire? I admire Tesla as a pioneering entity in the electric vehicle industry. It functions as an innovative organization driven by bold ideas. The entire body of engineers and designers constantly challenges norms. As an institution, it sets trends in sustainability. Its corporate structure empowers bold leadership and rapid growth. Essence. The basic or most important quality of something. Core. Heart. Spirit. Soul. What do you think is the essence of good communication? In my view, the essence of communication lies in clarity and empathy. The core idea must be delivered with care. At the heart of every message is the intent to connect. The spirit of dialogue includes respect and honesty. A conversation's soul is its emotional depth, which makes it meaningful. Forgery. The act of producing a fake document or item. Counterfeit. Imitation. Fraudulence. Fabrication. Have you ever come across a case of forgery? Yes, during my internship at a legal firm, I saw a shocking case of forgery. A client had unknowingly signed a counterfeit agreement, which was an expert-level imitation. The extent of fraudulence stunned the team, and the entire document was revealed as a complete fabrication. The incident emphasized how crucial legal verification is. Fragile. Easily broken or damaged. Delicate. Brittle. Weak. Breakable. Can you describe a situation where something fragile was important? During a science fair, I presented a fragile glass model. It was incredibly delicate, even a tap could shatter it. The material was brittle, requiring careful transportation. I felt nervous due to its weak structure, and wrapped it in bubble wrap to keep it breakable-proof. Thankfully, it stayed intact and impressed the judges. Frail. Physically weak or unhealthy. Feeble. Delicate. Sickly. Withered. Do you know someone who is considered frail? My grandmother is quite frail now due to her age. She's often feeble and needs support while walking. Despite her delicate health, her mind remains sharp. Some days, she feels sickly, especially during winter. Yet even though she looks withered, she still inspires everyone with her stories and warmth. Fundamental. Forming the core or essential part of something. Essential. Foundational. Basic. Central. What do you think is a fundamental skill for success? I think communication is a fundamental skill for success. It's essential in every field, whether you're in business or education. Good communication lays a foundational structure for teamwork. Even in interviews, basic skills like clarity and listening make a strong impression. It's truly central to professional growth and relationships. Heritage. Valued cultural traditions passed from generations. Legacy. Tradition. Ancestry. Inheritance. Why is preserving cultural heritage important? Preserving cultural heritage maintains a society's identity. Our legacy includes architecture, customs, and languages. By honoring tradition, we build deeper community bonds. Understanding our ancestry allows us to appreciate progress. And through inheritance of art, music, and stories, future generations stay connected to their roots and values. Hierarchy. A system where people are ranked in order. Structure. Chain. Ranking. Order. How does hierarchy affect the workplace environment? Hierarchy in workplaces defines roles and authority. A clear structure helps streamline decisions. The corporate chain allows accountability and defines leadership. However, rigid ranking may create barriers in communication. Still, when balanced with collaboration, this organizational order can lead to efficient management and team cohesion. High profile. Receiving a lot of public attention. Prominent. Well known. Notable. Celebrated. Can you think of a high-profile event you followed recently? Yes, I closely followed a high-profile climate summit last year. It attracted prominent leaders from all over the world. Many well-known scientists presented their findings, which made headlines. The decisions taken were notable and set goals for the future. It was a truly celebrated global step toward sustainability and accountability. Humanitarian. Concerned with the welfare of human beings. Compassionate. Benevolent. Philanthropic. Altruistic. What is the impact of humanitarian aid during crises? Humanitarian aid provides immediate relief in disasters. These compassionate efforts save lives and restore dignity. Organizations with benevolent missions deliver food, water, and shelter to affected regions. Many philanthropic individuals also donate generously. Such altruistic actions remind us that empathy and solidarity matter most in times of crisis. Hypothesis. A proposed explanation based on limited evidence. Theory. Assumption. Proposition. Premise. Can you explain a hypothesis you once tested or believed? In biology class, we explored the hypothesis that light affects plant growth. Our theory was that sun exposure increases leaf size. This assumption guided our experiment, and the data supported the proposition. Our entire premise was based on the idea that light plays a direct role, which the results clearly proved. Illusion. A false idea or belief that is not true. Delusion. Mirage. Hallucination. False perception. Have you ever experienced an illusion in real life or media? I once watched a magician perform an incredible illusion. It felt like a delusion, my brain couldn't accept the logic behind it. The floating ball looked like a mirage, moving without strings. It wasn't a hallucination, but a well-crafted trick. It proved how strong our false perception can be under suggestion. Imprisonment. The act of putting someone in prison. Incarceration. Confinement. Detention. Captivity. What are the effects of imprisonment on individuals? Imprisonment impacts individuals both mentally and socially. The long incarceration often leads to depression. Strict confinement removes contact with loved ones. Sometimes, detention limits access to education and skills. This kind of captivity can strip people of identity, making reintegration into society extremely challenging. Incorporate. To include or integrate something into a whole. Include. Integrate. Blend. Merge. How can students incorporate creativity into learning? Students should incorporate creativity in learning by using visuals and stories. For example, projects that include sketches or videos make content engaging. If teachers integrate flexible thinking, results improve. Ideas can blend into traditional subjects like history or math. A student may merge tech tools with writing, sparking innovation. Inherent. Existing naturally as a part of something. Innate. Natural. Built-in. Ingrained. Do you think leadership is an inherent quality or learned? I believe leadership can be both learned and inherent. Some people have an innate ability to inspire others, while others develop it over time. A natural sense of empathy can guide teams well. Skills may be built in through upbringing, and sometimes values are ingrained so deeply they naturally shape leadership style. Instinct. A natural tendency or intuitive behavior. Impulse. Intuition. Gut feeling. Reflex. Can instinct help someone make better decisions? Definitely. Instinct often guides us in uncertain situations. I've made choices based on impulse, which later turned out right. Our intuition helps read people's intentions. Many rely on their gut feeling in interviews or exams. Even physical reflex during emergencies shows how our body makes quick, smart decisions. Intervene. To become involved, to stop or change something. Mediate. Interfere. Intercede. Step in. Have you ever had to intervene in a difficult situation? Yes, I had to intervene in an argument between classmates. I tried to mediate calmly so both sides felt heard. Initially, my effort felt like an interference, but things improved. I chose to intercede when one person was nearly in tears. Thankfully, after I stepped in, we found a peaceful resolution. Ironically. In a way that is opposite to expectations. Unexpectedly. Paradoxically. Humorously. Surprisingly. Can you share an experience that ended ironically? Yes, ironically, the day I forgot my umbrella was also the sunniest day of the year. It was unexpectedly beautiful despite the forecast predicting rain. Paradoxically, carrying an umbrella often guarantees sunshine. I told my friends about it humorously, and they found it surprisingly amusing how nature flips its mood without warning. Legacy. Something handed down from the past. Inheritance. Tradition. Heritage. Gift. What legacy would you like to leave behind? I'd love to leave a legacy of creativity and kindness. That inheritance of values can inspire future generations. I believe meaningful tradition rooted in compassion matters more than wealth. Cultural heritage, especially storytelling, is something I want to preserve. Ultimately, the biggest gift would be showing people that empathy leads to progress. Legitimate. Lawful and in accordance with accepted rules. Legal. Lawful. Authentic. Valid. How can someone prove their actions are legitimate? To show actions are legitimate, one should always follow legal guidelines. If decisions are lawful and based on community standards, credibility increases. Documents that verify details and contracts prove authentic intention. With sufficient evidence, the effort will be seen as valid, and no one will question motives. Lenient. Less strict in punishment or judgment. Forgiving. Permissive. Soft. Tolerant. Do you think being lenient is better than being strict? I think a lenient approach builds trust. Teachers who are forgiving give students a chance to learn from mistakes. A permissive atmosphere encourages creativity, though it needs balance. Parents who are too soft might lack control, but when they are tolerant, children feel safe expressing themselves. Overall, flexibility often leads to better development. Lobby. To influence or persuade officials or lawmakers. Campaign. Advocate. Petition. Pressure. Have you ever seen a group successfully lobby for change? Yes, last year a student group managed to lobby the administration for better campus safety. They launched a campaign with statistics and testimonials. They chose to advocate for late-night transportation, collected signatures as a petition, and finally applied pressure through public forums. Their organized efforts led to policy updates, which was inspiring. Longevity. Long life or duration of existence. Durability. Lifespan. Endurance. Permanence. Why do some people value longevity in their careers? People value longevity because it shows stability and growth. A long durability in one's profession builds expertise. A healthy lifespan in a career allows deeper learning and leadership. It also reflects mental endurance and adaptability. Moreover, permanence in a role often leads to legacy building and professional respect. Longing. A strong feeling of desire or yearning. Craving. Yearning. Desire. Wistfulness. Can you describe a time when you experienced longing? After moving abroad, I felt deep longing for my hometown. There was a constant craving for familiar food and faces. I experienced emotional yearning, especially during holidays. The simple desire to walk down old streets became overwhelming. Even pictures brought wistfulness, reminding me of moments I hope to relive someday. Marginalized. Treated as insignificant or pushed aside. Excluded. Neglected. Sidelined. Oppressed. What challenges do marginalized groups face in society? Marginalized groups often lack access to education or healthcare. They're frequently excluded from decision-making. Some communities get neglected by policymakers, leaving basic needs unmet. Being sidelined in media also distorts public perception. In worst cases, they're oppressed, facing systemic discrimination that hinders progress and dignity. Massacre. The indiscriminate and brutal killing of many. Slaughter. Carnage. Bloodshed. Genocide. How should societies remember historical massacres? Societies must remember massacres through education and memorials. Documenting such slaughter prevents denial. Museums portraying past carnage offer lessons on peace. Public ceremonies honoring victims of bloodshed create unity. In some cases, acknowledging genocide helps heal and rebuild trust among nations. History must never be ignored. Masterpiece. A work of outstanding artistry or skill. Gem. Triumph. Marvel. Magnum opus. Have you ever seen a true masterpiece in person? Yes, I once saw Van Gogh's Starry Night and was struck by its brilliance. It's truly a masterpiece. The brushwork felt like a visual gem, every stroke a marvel. That painting is considered a magnum opus of post-impressionism, a real triumph of emotion and technique. It left a profound impression on me. Materialism. Excessive focus on possessions and wealth. Consumerism. Greed. Acquisitiveness. Possession-focused. Do you think materialism affects young people today? Undeniably, materialism is affecting youth through social media. The culture of consumerism promotes constant buying. Many experience subtle greed, chasing flashy items. The level of acquisitiveness is amplified by influencers flaunting luxury. Society has grown more possession-focused, valuing image over meaning, which can dilute genuine happiness. Mediocrity. The quality of being average or ordinary. Inferiority. Averageness. Banality. Ordinariness. Why do some people fear mediocrity in life? People fear mediocrity because it implies a lack of excellence. There's discomfort in averageness, especially in careers. Some associate it with inferiority and undervaluing their worth. Banality drains excitement from life. Avoiding ordinariness, they chase unique goals to feel that their lives carry distinct meaning and impact. Memorial. An object or ceremony honoring someone deceased. Tribute. Monument. Shrine. Remembrance. How important are memorials in preserving history? Memorials serve as poignant reminders of historical events. A war monument can foster unity. A tribute to fallen heroes teaches sacrifice. A public shrine offers emotional connection, while acts of remembrance educate future generations. These structures aren't just physical, they're vessels of collective memory and identity. Merely. Only, nothing more than. Simply. Solely. Just. Exclusively. Do you think success is merely about hard work? I don't believe success is merely tied to hard work. It's simply one ingredient. Many succeed because they solely focus on growth, but factors like timing and connections matter too. It's just not enough to work tirelessly, you must adapt. Success can never be exclusively measured by effort alone. Metaphor. A figure of speech in which a word or phrase is applied to something it doesn't literally describe. Symbol. Analogy. Image. Allegory. Do you enjoy reading literature that uses metaphor? Absolutely, I find literature rich with metaphor incredibly engaging. Authors often use striking symbols that resonate beyond the literal. A well-crafted analogy can illustrate emotional depth or abstract ideas. Powerful images build vivid scenes, while allegories communicate social or moral themes subtly. Such layered writing invites deeper reflection and interpretation. Millennium. A period of 1,000 years. Era. Epoch. Age. Span. Do you think the last millennium has brought major progress? Without a doubt, the last millennium has reshaped civilization. From the industrial era to the digital epoch, innovations have changed life dramatically. Each age within this 1,000-year span has built on the previous. We've advanced in health, technology, and education, setting foundations for a more connected, informed future. Mishap. An unlucky accident or minor incident. Blunder. Setback. Slip-up. Accident. Can you describe a mishap you've experienced while traveling? Once, during a trip to Thailand, I had a mishap involving a missed flight. It was a silly blunder, I misread the departure time. That setback led to extra costs and an unplanned overnight stay. The slip-up taught me to double-check everything. Though it started as an accident, it ended with me discovering a charming local cafe. Momentum. The driving force or speed gained by movement or progress. Drive. Energy. Pace. Motion. How important is momentum in achieving long-term goals? Momentum is crucial for maintaining direction and enthusiasm. Once you build a consistent drive, the accumulated energy propels you forward. The right pace ensures sustainable growth without burnout. Whether it's academic or professional success, keeping your motion focused and steady is what often separates achievers from dreamers. Monopoly. Exclusive control over a commodity or service. Dominance. Control. Cartel. Exclusivity. Should governments prevent monopolies in certain industries? Definitely, unchecked monopolies can hurt consumers. When companies gain dominance, they often raise prices and reduce quality. This kind of control limits competition and innovation. Sometimes, cartels work together to fix markets. Ensuring fair exclusivity requires regulation so smaller players can thrive and public interest is protected. Negligence. Failure to take proper care, causing harm. Oversight. Disregard. Carelessness. Inattention. Why is negligence such a serious issue in healthcare? In healthcare, negligence can have life-threatening consequences. A simple oversight, like skipping a dosage, might jeopardize a patient's safety. Disregard for procedures puts lives at risk. Even minor carelessness in diagnosis or treatment can spiral into major harm. Constant inattention erodes trust and compromises the integrity of medical professionals. Nostalgic. Feeling sentimental longing for the past. Wistful. Reminiscent. Sentimental. Homesick. Do you often feel nostalgic about your childhood? Yes, I frequently feel nostalgic when I see old photographs. They bring back wistful memories of summer days and simple joys. Certain songs are reminiscent of school events, while stories from family stir sentimental emotions. Especially when I'm away, I sometimes get homesick, yearning for the warmth and familiarity of those early years. Offspring. A person's child or animal's young. Children. Descendants. Progeny. Heir. How do people usually feel about raising offspring? Raising offspring is often described as life's most meaningful journey. Parents cherish their children as reflections of love and hope. Beyond that, nurturing descendants feels like shaping the future. Progeny carry values into new generations. Some view their heirs not just biologically, but as a legacy of their hard work and aspirations. Orthodox. Conforming to traditional beliefs or practices. Conventional. Established. Customary. Conservative. Do you think orthodox views still hold value today? Absolutely, orthodox views often reflect deeply rooted cultural wisdom. While they might seem conventional, such beliefs have guided generations. Established norms offer stability, especially in education and law. These customary practices help preserve identity. Even though change is important, conservative perspectives often offer caution that protects from impulsive decisions. Paradigm shift. A fundamental change in thinking or approach. Transformation. Revolution. Overhaul. Redefinition. Can you give an example of a recent paradigm shift in society? A major paradigm shift occurred with remote work during the pandemic. This transformation altered how we perceive productivity. It was a genuine revolution in workplace culture. Many companies underwent an operational overhaul, embracing digital platforms. This redefinition of work proved people could be efficient outside traditional offices, changing future employment forever. Paradoxical. Seemingly self-contradictory but possibly true. Ironic. Contradictory. Puzzling. Baffling. Have you ever faced a paradoxical situation in your life? Yes, during university, I noticed a paradoxical truth: studying less sometimes led to better performance. It seemed ironic that relaxation improved focus. The situation felt contradictory, since hard work is usually rewarded. The results were puzzling at first, but later I realized balance matters. The baffling experience taught me to prioritize smart learning over cramming. Paramount. Most important, having supreme significance. Vital. Essential. Crucial. Principal. What do you think is paramount when choosing a career? I believe passion is paramount when choosing a career. It's vital to enjoy what you do. Of course, financial stability is essential, but long-term satisfaction stems from meaning. Skills that match interests become crucial for growth. Choosing a path aligned with your values should be the principal concern to ensure purpose-driven success. Perception. The way something is understood or interpreted. Viewpoint. Understanding. Awareness. Interpretation. How does perception influence communication? Perception plays a huge role in shaping how we communicate. Everyone comes with a unique viewpoint molded by experience. Effective communication needs understanding of tone and context. Developing cultural awareness helps avoid misinterpretation. Clear interpretation ensures that the intended message isn't distorted by bias or emotional reactions. Perseverance. Continued effort despite difficulty. Determination. Tenacity. Resolve. Endurance. Why is perseverance important in academic success? Perseverance is the key to academic growth. Challenges demand determination to overcome setbacks. Students with tenacity push through failures and stay focused. Having mental resolve helps balance stress. Most importantly, sustained endurance allows them to work consistently toward long-term goals, which is what truly defines academic excellence. Persistence. Continued existence or repetitive effort. Consistency. Perseverance. Relentlessness. Dedication. What role does persistence play in goal setting? Persistence ensures that goals don't fade away under pressure. It requires consistency to keep momentum. Like perseverance, it's about pushing through resistance. Some dreams take relentlessness to achieve, especially in competitive fields. With focused dedication, people often reach objectives that seemed impossible at first, proving effort really pays off. Persuasion. The act of convincing someone to believe or do something. Influence. Argument. Appeal. Reasoning. Do you think persuasion is a valuable skill in life? Definitely, persuasion is essential in both personal and professional settings. It allows you to influence others logically and respectfully. Crafting a strong argument helps present your views clearly. Sometimes, a heartfelt appeal works better than facts. Skillful reasoning builds trust and often sways opinions without pressure or conflict. Phenomenal. Remarkably impressive or exceptional. Extraordinary. Outstanding. Incredible. Exceptional. Can you describe a phenomenal experience in your life? One phenomenal experience I had was trekking in the Himalayas. The views were extraordinary, like scenes from dreams. The challenge was outstanding, both mentally and physically. The beauty was simply incredible, with nature offering breathtaking surprises. That exceptional journey changed my perspective on resilience, adventure, and inner peace forever. Plethora. An excessive or large amount of something. Abundance. Surplus. Profusion. Overflow. Do you think having a plethora of choices is always beneficial? While a plethora of options can enhance flexibility, too many can lead to indecision. For example, in supermarkets, the abundance of products might overwhelm shoppers. A surplus of choices doesn't always guarantee better quality. Sometimes a profusion of options causes confusion, creating an overflow of information that impairs clear decision-making. Possession. Something that is owned or held. Ownership. Property. Asset. Belonging. Do people nowadays put too much value on possessions? Many people today place great value on possessions, often equating ownership with success. Material property like cars or gadgets becomes a status symbol. Some even treat such items as prized assets. This intense focus on belongings can overshadow personal growth, making consumerism a dominant mindset in modern life. Predecessor. A person or thing that came before another. Forerunner. Antecedent. Precursor. Ancestor. How do you think learning about one's predecessors influences identity? Learning about one's predecessors helps foster a strong sense of self. A family forerunner may have paved the way for current values or beliefs. Historical antecedents create cultural continuity. A precursor to one's current life choices often lies in traditions. Even stories about an ancestor can influence one's worldview and decisions today. Predominant. Most common or strongest in influence. Prevailing. Dominant. Principal. Primary. What do you think is the predominant value in your society? In my society, the predominant value is community support. This prevailing sentiment drives how people help each other. It's the dominant cultural feature that defines celebrations and crises alike. In fact, mutual aid is considered a principal duty, and among all values, it remains a primary pillar of social life. Propaganda. Biased or misleading information used to promote a cause. Misinformation. Promotion. Indoctrination. Hype. How does propaganda affect public opinion in today's world? Propaganda shapes public opinion through emotional appeal and selective facts. Governments sometimes use misinformation to protect national interests. Campaigns often serve as subtle promotion for ideologies. Indoctrination occurs when people are exposed repeatedly without critical thinking. Social media amplifies this hype, turning opinion into mass behavior without thorough analysis. Prosecution. The legal process of pursuing criminal charges against someone. Legal action. Indictment. Litigation. Court proceedings. Do you think media influences public opinion during prosecutions? Yes, the media often shapes perception during prosecution. Sometimes, legal action is reported with bias, making the indictment seem like a verdict. Even during ongoing litigation, headlines create pressure. Detailed coverage of court proceedings can affect jurors and the public, impacting fairness in high-profile trials. Protagonist. The leading character or main figure in a story. Hero. Main character. Central figure. Lead role. Who is your favorite protagonist from a book or film? One of my favorite protagonists is Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird. He's not just the hero but the main character who embodies moral courage. As the central figure, he tackles prejudice and defends justice. His lead role profoundly shapes the narrative and leaves a lasting ethical impact. Provoke. To stimulate or incite someone to feel or do something. Trigger. Instigate. Prompt. Stir. Have you ever been provoked into doing something unexpected? Yes, during an intense debate, someone's remark provoked me to speak up. It triggered a strong response I hadn't expected. Their argument instigated deeper reflection and ultimately prompted me to challenge their views. That moment managed to stir emotions and push me beyond my usual passivity. Proximity. Nearness in space, time, or relationship. Closeness. Nearness. Adjacency. Immediacy. Do you think proximity to nature impacts mental well-being? Absolutely, proximity to natural environments can enhance peace of mind. The closeness of green spaces promotes relaxation. When people enjoy nearness to trees or rivers, stress levels often drop. Adjacency to parks allows frequent walks, while immediacy to quiet zones fosters mindfulness and improved emotional balance. Reasoning. The process of thinking logically and drawing conclusions. Analysis. Thought process. Argumentation. Logic. Why is reasoning important in decision-making? Sound reasoning prevents impulsive decisions. When people apply analysis, they consider various angles. A structured thought process improves choices by balancing emotion and fact. In debate or negotiation, solid argumentation makes ideas compelling. Most importantly, logic helps filter biases and aligns decisions with real-world conditions. Redundancy. Dismissal from employment due to lack of work. Downsizing. Dismissal. Unemployment. Job loss. What impact does redundancy have on people's careers? Redundancy often leads to unexpected career shifts. Corporate downsizing can feel disheartening, as dismissal may lower confidence. Though unemployment presents financial challenges, some treat job loss as a chance to reskill or switch industries. With support, it can become a turning point rather than a setback. Referendum. A general vote by the electorate on a single issue. Public vote. Plebiscite. Ballot. Popular decision. Do you think referendums help improve democracy? Referendums offer citizens direct power in shaping laws. A public vote on major issues reflects transparency. Like a plebiscite, it amplifies collective voices. Through the ballot, people express their stance. Such popular decisions bring legitimacy, although they require informed participation to be truly effective. Scrutiny. Critical examination or investigation. Inspection. Analysis. Evaluation. Review. Should public figures be under constant scrutiny? Yes, scrutiny of public figures is essential for accountability. Media inspection often reveals truths that affect citizens. A balanced analysis ensures fair judgment. Objective evaluation of actions maintains integrity. Transparent review of decisions fosters trust between leaders and the people they serve. Stereotypical. Following fixed or oversimplified beliefs. Cliched. Conventional. Formulaic. Generalized. How do stereotypical views affect social relationships? Stereotypical thinking limits open communication. Cliched assumptions block empathy. People adopt conventional views without questioning. This leads to formulaic interactions lacking authenticity. When beliefs are generalized, misunderstandings and discrimination can arise, reducing genuine social bonds. Strategically. In a way that is planned to achieve a goal. Tactically. Calculatedly. Purposefully. Methodically. How can people plan strategically for their future? Planning strategically helps people align actions with long-term goals. A tactical approach breaks down complex ambitions. Thinking calculatedly ensures wise resource use. Acting purposefully adds direction, while methodical habits create consistency. With this structure, people avoid distractions and build a fulfilling future. Stubbornness. Refusing to change one's opinion or attitude. Obstinacy. Rigidity. Inflexibility. Pig-headedness. Is stubbornness more of a strength or a weakness? Stubbornness can be both. When it reflects obstinacy, people may resist helpful feedback. Rigidity hinders growth in fast-paced environments. But inflexibility can also show commitment to personal values. Excessive pig-headedness isolates people, but balanced firmness helps stand by ethical beliefs. Successor. Someone who takes over a position or role. Heir. Replacement. Inheritor. Descendant. How important is choosing a good successor in leadership? A strong successor guarantees smooth transitions. An heir to leadership must carry forward vision with new insights. The right replacement protects progress. An inheritor needs adaptability to face future challenges. Whether political or corporate, a descendant should reflect purpose while also reshaping leadership. Succumb. Fail to resist pressure or temptation. Surrender. Give in. Yield. Concede. Why do people often succumb to stress despite knowing its effects? People succumb to stress due to constant pressure. Daily burdens make it easy to surrender instead of seeking help. Many give in to habits that seem like relief. Others yield to fear or exhaustion. Eventually, they concede control, unaware that small steps toward resilience make a big difference. Territory. A defined area under control or belonging to someone. Domain. Region. Land. Jurisdiction. Do you think territorial disputes affect global peace? Territory is central to many conflicts. Nations defend their domain due to cultural or strategic value. Contested regions spark tension. Ownership of land brings economic control. Disputed jurisdictions delay diplomacy. Resolving such issues demands open negotiation and respect for international law. Threshold. The point or level at which something begins. Limit. Boundary. Entry point. Verge. What challenges do people face at the threshold of adulthood? The threshold of adulthood brings new responsibilities. People test their limits financially and emotionally. They cross a boundary into independence. It's also an entry point to career paths and relationships. Standing on the verge of new phases requires decision-making, resilience, and strong support systems. Withstand. To resist or survive something challenging. Endure. Resist. Survive. Persevere. How can individuals withstand peer pressure in society? To withstand peer pressure, one needs self-awareness and courage. It's vital to endure criticism when standing apart. Learning to resist temptation helps maintain values. Some rely on inner strength to survive isolation. True confidence allows them to persevere, even when everyone else follows the crowd.